The App Store is dying, not slowly, not gradually. It's collapsing, and the people building inside it still haven't looked up from their screens long enough to notice. In the last 18 months, something fundamental broke. The entire logic of how humans interact with computers, the logic that has governed Silicon Valley for 4 decades, became obsolete, not improved, not disrupted, obsolete. And most people have absolutely no idea. Think about what you did this morning. You opened an app to check your email. You opened another to manage your calendar. You switched to a browser, clicked through 3 pages, copy-pasted information from one tab into another, filled out a form, hit submit, waited, refreshed, then you did it again. We built the most powerful computing infrastructure in human history, and we are using it to make people click buttons. That's not productivity. That's digital manual labor. Here's what nobody in the mainstream tech conversation wants to say out loud. The entire SaaS economy was always a temporary solution, a placeholder. We built graphical interfaces because computers couldn't understand us. We built apps because the web was too complex to navigate naturally. Every single piece of software ever created exists because of one fundamental limitation. Computers couldn't think. That limitation no longer exists. In 2026, AI agents don't need your interface. Let that sit for a moment. They don't need the buttons. They don't need the menus, the onboarding flows, or the dashboards. Everything you built your SaaS business around, the entire user experience economy, is being bypassed. An autonomous agent doesn't open your app. It talks to your API directly, or it reads your interface the way a human does, except 1,000 times faster. It logs in, extracts what it needs, executes what it's told, and closes the connection in seconds with zero human involvement. This is not a feature. This is not an upgrade. This is a replacement. Right now, agents are booking flights without travel apps. They're managing inventories without ERP dashboards. They're drafting contracts and running competitor analyses, all without a human ever touching a keyboard. There's a number circulating in the private circles of Silicon Valley venture capital right now, and it's making investors deeply uncomfortable. 90%. That's the estimated share of B2. B SaaS applications that some analysts fear have no defensible reason to exist in an era of autonomous agents. Not because they're poorly built, but because the problem they solve, the friction between human intent and computer execution, is being eliminated at the infrastructure level. Even Gartner had to shift its outlook, now projecting that 40% of enterprise apps will have embedded agents by 2026. But they are missing the bigger picture. The goal was never AI inside software. The goal is AI instead of software. This is why boardrooms are panicking. Microsoft, Google, Salesforce, they aren't sitting still. They're watching the logic of their own businesses evaporate in real time. Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision might have looked like a gaming play, but in the post-software world, it's a bet on massive ecosystems and distribution. They are securing the gates before the agents take over. Google, meanwhile, didn't consolidate DeepMind just for research. They did it because their core product, 10 Blue Links, is facing an existential threat. These companies are no longer just innovating. They are running for cover. And the mid-market SaaS companies, the ones with 40 employees and a Slack workspace full of people writing product roadmaps, they're standing completely still, debating font choices on a landing page for software that will have no users by the end of next year. The massive bloated middle of the software market, project management tools, data dashboards, HR onboarding systems, is facing an adapt or die moment. We aren't looking at a 10-year cycle anymore. The shift is happening in months, not years. While the SaaS market as a whole might still show growth on paper, the traditional click-and-wait model is being hollowed out from the inside. For the companies that fail to pivot to an agent-first architecture, 2027 isn't just a date on the calendar, it's a deadline. There's a harder question underneath all of this. If computers can now understand what we want, if we can simply speak our intent and have it executed without navigating any interface at all. What does that mean for the human relationship with technology? For 50 years, we adapted ourselves to computers. We learned their language, we memorized shortcuts. We shaped our thinking around what machines could process. That era is over. The computer is now learning our language, not metaphorically, literally. The interface is disappearing because the interface was always the compromise, the translation layer between human thought and machine execution. Remove the translation layer and something profound happens. Technology becomes invisible, ambient, woven into the background of decision-making so completely that the boundary between thinking something and doing it begins to dissolve. This is either the most liberating development in human history or the most dangerous, depending entirely on who controls the agents, who defines their values, who audits their decisions when something goes wrong. The death of software is real, the apps are going, the dashboards are going, the subscription tiers and the renewal emails, all of it is going. What replaces it isn't just better technology, it's a different relationship between human beings and the machines we built to serve us. The only question left, and it's the most important question of this decade, is whether we're designing that relationship deliberately, or whether we're going to wake up one morning and realize that the agents already decided for us. The App Store economy is dying. What comes next is being written right now, and most people are still clicking buttons.